All right. Hello, this is Daniel Tabar again, and I am going to show you some late night Friday shenanigans. It's very late on Friday. Were a little distracted today, but we got some stuff done still. It's an absolute mess in this test montage, as you can see. We have really made a lot of digging happening here, different digging experiments. So we are definitely thinking a lot about the digging, which is such a core thing about Cortex Command, and will be the original, of course, and then will be with Cortex Command 3D, of course, as well. There's no reason it wouldn't. And we have come up with two different digging mechanics or digging tools, you could say. Uh, this original one, to be clear, this perfect sphere, this was just a test. We're not doing this for Cortex Command. It doesn't make sense in the sense of like, how are you digging that? How did that happen? And it's way too easy to do this as well. You can dig tunnels extremely fast with this big spherical deletion. There will be a less effective basic digging action when you have nothing in your hands, so to speak. You can pick up things and move them around and place them and use them to build and so on. In this FPS test, this is not Cortex Command. This is a test just to make sure that we actually had some basic capability to even have an FPS like experience on this platform, and it is very much not any kind of polished experience or anything like this, or the beginnings of even a game like Cortex Command. It does have some very basic things, like you can walk around on the ground. That was actually not possible until very recently. This needs collision detection. It needs collision detection happening on the client side. So again, this stuff was not working just a few months ago. So we have shooting and picking up items and dropping items and building and digging. These are just tests, and so we are now looking into like what would actually be the thing in Cortex Command. So yesterday I showed an experiment with kind of a half sphere where you're digging with your hands desperately, without any other tools when you don't have anything else. That is what you can do as a robotic body. You're pretty powerful, and you can actually swipe at the ground or swipe at a wall or something and dig through it. However, if you have a more specialized tool for digging, that would actually look more like Cortex Command, which is using these kind of sandblaster-like tools. So forgive the little weird tool-looking thing here. So this is it's just a placeholder. This is just tests, and everything looking ugly here is very much a known issue. we are not trying to nail down an art style yet. I mean, we have an idea of what the art for Cortex Command would look like, and I'll get to that in a second. But this is not where we're at. We're literally on day number 2 now, and if you know anything about game development, there's this concept of gray boxing, where you just make some game mechanics work, and the art and the content and the assets are literally not there. So everything is just gray boxes, and you're jumping around, interacting with these gray boxes. So we're actually further along than that, because this is not just gray boxes, but it is programmer art, and not much direction in here yet. And this is not a typical Cortex Command environment either. This is some kind of sci-fi island, floating island, I guess. And it wouldn't be the typical Cortex Command environment, which is more like in undisturbed nature on some alien planet. Anyway, so back to the digging tool here. As you can see, as I'm testing this is a modification that we made on the shotgun, actually. And if you did play Cortex Command back in the day, you might recall that the diggers were kind of like these sandblasting tools that would just spray out a bunch of particles and in very short kind of range, and the particles would die or disappear extremely quickly, but there were a lot of them and just very energetic amount of sandblasting, you could say, at short range, and that's how you could actually dig with these digging tools. And there were different tiers. There was light, medium, and heavy digging tool, and they would get through different material densities and hardnesses. Like the heavy one would be needed for concrete and reinforced concrete. Oh, I have fallen through the ground. This still happens. We're fixing that too, so don't you worry. Let me get back to where I was though. So I had tool. I'll give it back to myself here. Got a hair in my mouth. That's nice. Just to keep things short, this is something closer to that digging tool. As you see, I'm like actually sandblasting. I'm blasting away at this hole. You can imagine there would be some. It looks like chocolate almost. It's kind of nice. There would definitely be a texture to this, and I can manually apply it to give you a feel for what that would look like. But you can imagine there's like gold in here, and I'm excavating it with this blasting tool. Let's do that. Let's put some gold in here. And so also I wanted to just quickly show that this is all possible to do in some. Oh, have I lost that screen? I have lost the screen. Okay, we will just bring it up here real quick. This is some of our back end. We are in the this guy, and we're gonna get this going. Yeah, so here we have the not the scene, the game here. We have the item gun. This is Lua file is the actual script for the gun. So you can see how I've modified in here a little bit. We have a digger gun that is being reloaded or kind of reset every 0.08 seconds, which is quite fast, and that's why it's very energetic. It's like boom, 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 boom. And we can see the digger, the logic. Yep, do digger shot here. And we can make these things kind of bigger holes that it's punching in the ground, and more of them. There's 2 right now. I can make it 3, let's say, and tune things this way. And I could also go back to that here. Digger range is another variable I can play with, of course. How far those particles actually, that was 3 meters, so we're making the particles just die after 3 meters basically, and that gives you this classic Cortex Command vibe. Here we have the reload time. We could have it be, since we added more particles, we can have this be less frequent perhaps. Maybe goes to 12 or something, 0.12. That's a longer interval between the, and as soon as I save that, actually, you see how this, well, that disconnected too. As soon as I save that, it will reload the scripts of the montage. This is a super powerful thing to have a quick iteration loop. That's what scripts allow us to have, so we don't have to recompile any C++ code and deploy a new build or something. We can just, now I got disconnected, so that wasn't as quick as it can be, but, and it's streaming and kind of slow here, so, but here we go. We have the gun, the weapon, or yeah, oops, that's the wrong button, here. And now, you see how this is now been affected by those changes. So it's a slower, you may or may not notice this, but there's a slower frequency of the boom, 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 like the digger actually shooting out particles. But there's 3 particles now that are flying out, causing damage, so to speak, to the ground. and this is a tuning thing. So we have to make sure we're not editing too many things, because that makes the server not happy. We are making the server main kind of editing, or like the voxel ops thread multi-threaded, and that will help this a lot, so we can have more CPU cores on the server actually work on the voxel stuff. Now it's all single threaded, or most of it, and that is, it's already working fairly well, but it would work so much better if there was more than one thread working on some of these heavy voxel ops on the server, so we could have more people digging, more dramatic digging action, let's say, for example. But here's that hole I dug before, and I can go into some kind of edit mode here, and I can show you what it would look like if it wasn't this kind of interpolation of the surface color, but actually some kind of, so we could just go paint. Let's do some image here. Oop, I'm going to move my face here. And I found that stone wall is quite good as a as one of these colors we can apply, and we can make this quite a lot bigger. And we're going to hit tab to make this actually project the texture with the viewpoint that I have in my camera. So you can now see when I paint this stone texture onto this exposed stuff, you can get a preview of what that will look like. So we can make that happen. You might have noticed with the spherical proto digging kind of action, there is a stone texture applied to the exposed hole, the very perfect sphere that you saw before. But now when I'm painting this onto here, this much more rugged, much more hopefully interesting looking, surface that we're excavating with the digging tool. You can see how it can look like quite nice, or at least more realistic, I guess, when I'm manually adding some of these textured pictures that are kind of like projected onto here. And if I dig some more, I will be exposing more of this kind of non-textured stuff. But this is another thing I want to make clear, is like now it all looks like it's the same material, because it is the same material. But we are definitely implementing so that there's different materials in here and different material hardnesses, so that you need more effort, more time, more powerful digging tool to actually get through concrete, let's say, versus dirt or sand or something like that, right? So I hope that makes sense. And the Cortex teams team is actually working on specifically this. This is not a walk in the park. Like, this is not easy stuff necessarily to do with this high resolution voxel stuff, to make it still run fast enough, but still be able to check what the material is, how hard it is. Like, does it actually get to be edited by the current brush or operation that you're doing on there. So this gets a little hairy, like what if you are digging through something that has mostly sand but also some concrete, your deletion of that compound kind of volume would be little interesting to calculate, right? So they are working on that. We're getting that in here. Right now that's not in here, but it is coming in quite soon. So we're not far from having that, where you can have a big chunk of concrete in this dirt, and you would actually not be able to dig, certainly with your hands. Even your strong robot hands wouldn't be able to do that, and get through that concrete. You might be able to scratch it, and in a very long period of time be able to maybe get through it, but it would be extremely kind of slow and inefficient. But if you have the more powerful digging tools, they would be digging with different parameters, more force, more digging capability, and that would actually let you penetrate the bunkers or whatever you're trying to get into. So you can imagine there's like some kind of hardened fortification in here. You've dug through the dirt or the asphalt or even the like kind of gravelly material here, and then you would come up on some like armored concrete that would be reinforced concrete. I mean, that would be quite tough to get through unless you have the right tools. So anyway, I wanted to show if you have some gold in here. This is such a kind of nice thing to experiment with to show you guys. If we have some gold, this is just me placing some kind of gold turds in here. But you can imagine I'm clicking just to kind of add some. So you can imagine if this was actually a gold vein. This is a very rich deposit, I would say, that I'm simulating here. But yeah, you can imagine finding these nuggets in here as you're digging through, and you would want to follow those gold deposits, those veins, as they kind of work in real life too. Like there's these streaks through the ground of the stuff that you're trying to mine, whether it's gold or some other mineral or metal. And that's the experience we want to convey here. It's like you're digging up this super valuable stuff that is the lifeblood of your you say existence. Even in Cortex Command, you're very dependent on being able to buy more defenses, more offensive stuff, whether it's bunker pieces or actual, robots and defensive turrets and offensive tanks. We're going to have some nice vehicles in here too. But here's a different part of the level that has a little bit more of a... This hole is very chaotic. I would say this is not well tuned here. So there's a bunch of floating, voxel pieces. We would also systematically kind of clean those up. If there's floating things, we will be detecting that and turning them into either, if they're big enough, to turn them into a physics object. If they're not big enough, we just delete them or turn them into particles, perhaps, where they can fall down to the ground again and in a somewhat realistic way, behave the way you would expect some stuff that you would expose or kind of isolate in a digging process in real life. You would just have these things fall to the ground, of course. This is not very hard to kind of intuit as anyone who's grown up in the real world, with real gravity and dealing with dirt and a sandbox and so on. So I'm rambling. But yeah, you can see how we're experimenting with this other digging tool, and that was what I wanted to show you here. So we're digging here, we're digging over here where we're digging everything here, but we're tuning just early, very rough stuff just to make some tests. This is all testing. This is super early, so don't get hung up on, oh, it looks not so great, or it doesn't look as maybe fun or tuned as it should be. And this responsiveness is not great right now. Like, I see that the voxel operations are coming through kind of slow. There's a lot we can do to improve that, both in the script side and also on the kind of deeper tech side. So I'm not too worried about that. This is also a server that is not super close to me. I'm in, where is it? Yeah, it's in Helsinki, so it's not too far actually. But I'm in Slovakia with the team right now, so this is a couple of countries away. We could certainly have closer by servers as well, which we are spinning up too, so that there will be better options for you and your friends to play on. They're quite close to you. That obviously helps, but most of this latency that you're seeing here is not from the network lag. It's actually the the operations that are happening on the server side that are slow and slow in coming to us, and that's like unacceptably slow, I would say, right there. We are getting that much faster. So anyway, wanted to touch on some other stuff here, which is we have, where is it? Here, downloads, yes. No, let me try to find where this stuff is. I'm gonna pause. Okay, so back here, I wanted to show you guys there's some assets that we got from the gentleman who made the original trailer of Cortex Command. This is stuff that I've been sitting on for, 12 years or so. But pardon my camera being all blown out too. Anyway, I don't have 3 Max installed here. These are all Max files, but this is a shotgun that is used in the trailer. Just as an example, that's a Coalition shotgun, of course. Here's some bombs that are being dropped from a dropship in the trailer as well. But the cool thing about these assets is you can see they're very nice and round, and they're not optimized for the typical low poly game experience, which is exactly what we don't want. There's a sentry gun that is quite fun to look at and to think about how this would work in the game. Of course, you would want to bolt these down on your bunker pieces to keep you safe from anyone who's trying to intrude. Let's see, Green Clone. This is a good one. So these are just little preview images, but as you can see, we have the full-blown model. It's actually a rigged model in 3 Max, but we can actually voxelize this with all these nice round shapes and the details everywhere, and especially the round shapes. These are, again, not optimized for real-time rendering. They were made for pre-rendered CG sequences for that trailer of Cortex Command, which I think is very charming. Even back then, it was kind of a throwback to the 90s games like Worms and so on that had these, like the CD-ROM era that had some of these like 3D rendered CGI sequences. And so even in 2009 and so on, where Cortex Command was actually in the market, even then this was like a retro look. The really charming thing I think about this is that we are actually going to be able to do this, and I'll probably be doing some of this with the help of some artists that we're working with, getting this into the MONTAGE voxel virtual matter format. Here's something from actually Planetoid Pioneers, which would be also charming. It is in the same universe. Planetoid Pioneers is a prequel to Cortex Command. Here's a rocket. Here's a Cortex Command rocket. Very quintessential. And it is beautiful. So voxelizing this and actually putting it in as an asset in here is going to be super, super nice. I think it's going to be kind of a throwback to the real Cortex Command. It's going to have the look of the Cortex Command trailer for sure, which is trying to envision a 3D take on the 2D game already, again, 12 years ago. And now we can actually kind of continue building on this. And the gentleman who built all this, his name is Anton. Anton, if you're out there and you see this, please get in touch with us. We would love to reconnect. We've been out of touch forever, so would love to talk to you again and see if we can do some more work, perhaps. That would be super fun. But yeah, so we have a really good set of stuff even stuff that you haven't seen before. This green tank is quite interesting. Anton built this. I don't think this was used in a trailer or anywhere really, but this could be a very nice, maybe a defensive turret that can move around, and protect your turf. So you can put this on some kind of patrol mission to patrol around your base. But yeah, I think it's time to wrap it up. It's 24 minutes. These videos, I don't know what we're going to land on typically for length. This might be a little long for people to actually watch. So let us know actually how you feel, if this is too long or if it should be shorter. I think people would like it shorter. I probably would want that myself. So we're going to try to keep these a little shorter than this, but I'm going to wrap this up now. So we've done some experiments with these the digging tool, we have a concrete gun. This is also a classic Cortex Command thing where you're just spraying particles. That one would be more like this tool. This is like we have this paintball gun here. This just shoots a bunch of these balls, of course, and yeah, the delay is quite severe here. And I don't know, this server is not too happy right now. But you see what I'm doing, of course. I'm adding balls instead of removing holes and shapes from things as damaged. This is adding to it. These silly colored balls. But imagine if that was more like concrete looking, maybe not balls, but more like, I don't know what would be appropriate, but some more squished out balls perhaps, I don't know. But concrete looking material, and actually not looking but also behaving material. So you could reinforce like a pit like this with that concrete gun. And this was possible in the original Cortex Command too. I think I just created a interesting problem there. But yeah, it's oh yeah, like these kind of sausages happen when you stack the balls up accidentally. But having it coat the walls, so to speak, in this, and if we're adding this hard material that's actually hard to get through or hard to shoot through, now you're reinforcing the bunker. Again, it wouldn't look this silly, and we'd have to tune this quite a bit. But it's another one of these concepts we want to bring back from Cortex Command original that was quite compelling. But conceptually, you can see it how it's going to work. But now I'm really going to wrap up. So this has been the second day of this project that we're building in public. And so thanks for tuning in and being interested. And please leave some comments on what you think about these digging tools, how we're going to perhaps make the best use of them, best implementation, best, and then one of the beautiful things about Cortex Command, of course, was the modding. And this is something we're definitely bringing back, let's say, into inherently at a montage. This is all super accessible to you to go into the scripts and change all these variables, change all the logic that has to do with the gun and all the effects around it and so on. These different tools. This is a feature of our platform. So the scripting environment is not open yet, but it is coming up very soon. So you guys can go hog wild in here, making whatever changes you want to anything really. The game logic, the controls, the UI, the items, the game rules as well, of course. So yeah, it'll be hopefully quite interesting for you guys. But okay, I'm definitely wrapping up now. It's very late, and this has been too long already. So cheers, have a good one, and have a good weekend. The next video will drop on Monday. We're going to work over the weekend, but not have this pressure of doing videos on the weekend. So we're going to also get some nice recreational activities in. And Monday we'll drop another video. And so you'll see me then. And until then, have a good one. Bye.